Where is, in your judgment, going too far in terms of what we write for a young audience?
You know, I don't...
in terms of self-censorship, not in terms of any legal or quasi-legal action to intimidate writers, but just...
This is what
is anything that you think, you know, that's too far?
You know, I was asked that in court once by the other side, in a case where in Denver it was, and it's nearly an impossible question to answer. What do I write?
They used to say that incest was the last taboo.
I've never written about incest, but not because many people have written about incest for kids, and I cannot tell you about the letters that I've had over the years. I can tell you, actually, many letters over the years about incest, kids who have no idea what to do. They know more now. You ask me what's changed. I mean, kids, there are more magazines, there's more TV. I mean, you can go to the internet. Kids can find out today that they aren't the only ones. And I think in some cases they feel less alone, and that's good. And there are some very fine books that have been written about kids who have been sexually abused. I haven't written them. It's not, and not for any reason, it's just not what I chose to write about.
If you guys can join in, you know, I'm
sorry, I'm only faced this way.
Duff couldn't wait. She said, when is he going to turn to me?
I'm sorry.
I think one of the amazing things about the books to me, just as a parent, even though my children are grown now, is that it was such an appealing way to talk about these issues through literature, through stories, through how kids felt. And I'm wondering how much parents were relieved to have these kinds of ways. In fact, sometimes so they didn't even have to talk about it the same way.
You know, if you go back to the very young woman I was when I started to write these books, none of this ever occurred to me. You know, so what you're saying, I mean, that was so far from anything that was on my mind that I was trying to do that I even thought about. But yeah, I think some parents are relieved. I think books can be great bridges to communication. You know, when my daughter was growing up, we would sometimes read the same book. She was very shy, she was very quiet, but we could talk through characters in books. What do you think about, you know, what Karen did here? And I think a lot of parents like that. That's good, and kids like it too. But then there's a time when kids want to go into their room or get into bed with a book, and it's just for them, and mom stays out of it. And I think that's true, especially once they get just a little bit older. You know, you have to talk to kids before they're 12 years old and answer all their questions, because once they're 12 years old, they may stop asking those questions of their parents.